as we feel our soul is present and asking to be embodied, but we don't quite trust that it's okay, that we're safe to not only be who we are, but drop out of survival mode to even rediscover who that is. When we don't trust ourselves, it can cause us to look outside for answers, and in doing so, we inevitably can't help but compare our lives to the ones we see around us. It can feel like everyone else is moving forward while we just stand there watching it all go by. And we wonder, is there something wrong with me? Am I ever going to feel worthy enough to receive the things I desire? Am I ever going to trust myself enough to even step towards them? When we don't trust ourselves, life can also become a very scattered and ungrounded experience, almost as if we're floating around with no anchor, moored to no shoreline, all the while the wild storm of life whips around our sails and tangles our ropes in knots, carrying us from one place to the next, none of it really feeling like home, none of it really quite fitting like we need it to. We might have a tough time making decisions. We might always be wondering, what if? What if it doesn't work out? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I fail? If I'm left behind and abandoned? If I never find my people, realize my dreams, or just feel like myself? In the constant doubting of our inner knowing, we can whip ourselves into a frenzy of chaos and confusion, growing more and more lost the more we look outside of ourselves for the answers, abandoning ourselves a little each time we adjust our true self in an attempt to fit or belong to another, in an attempt to be safe, which is completely understandable. But no matter how many bits of knowledge we collect or how many pieces of advice we receive, none of it quite lands as we hope it would. None of it feels quite right. Shrouded in a busy fog, we fall flat to the earth with a thud of defeat as we give up and make no decision at all, leaving us frozen and befuddled, stagnant, stuck, and overwhelmed, alone and lost in our experience, as if we are the child who has lost their parent and can't quite seem to find them, running around frantically searching outside of ourselves, when really what we need to do is sit in one place and patiently wait. Wait for the parent who loves us to come and find us, scoop us up, and tell us everything is going to be okay, to take us home. Today that parent is you, and today you are going to find you and take you home. So next we'll move into some reassuring reminders and then right on in to the vision journey. Before we do that, let's take a nice deep breath. Notice any places in your body you're holding tension, and soften to let it all go. You came here trusting yourself. You trusted that as you stood up and took your first steps, Even if you fell 100 times, you would get right back up and try again. Because it wasn't a matter of if you could walk, it was a matter of when. That same sense of trust exists within you now. It's just a matter of clearing a pathway to it. There are a lot of learned and programmed pressures that we experience on a day-to-day basis. Pressures to live and exist in certain ways that may or may not be a fit for who we are, or for what is truly healthy and fulfilling for us. So inevitably and understandably, when we don't fit in or can't keep up, we begin to see ourselves as the problem. Something to fix and adjust, something to mend and repair, someone that is fundamentally flawed or broken, someone that can't be trusted. And slowly but surely, the more we abandon ourselves in order to fit, the more the chasm between our human self and our higher self grows. When in truth, and what we must remember, is that the messages coming through our bodies and from the innate wisdom of our higher selves are more true and more trustworthy than any truth we have been taught, told, or expected to follow. The way we tell the difference between a message from our higher selves, our intuition, and the programmed or wounded self is all in the energy that comes with it, and the response our body has to hearing it. When the message is from our higher self, it will speak lovingly, patiently, and gently. And when we tune into its wisdom, our heart will feel open, our body grounded, and our mind clear. And when it is from our programmed self, our wounded self, or external sources, our mind will often grow busy and our body anxious as we feel the results of its misaligned energy hitting our auric field and body. Remembering how to trust yourself takes time. It takes slowness and patience and small steps forward, all the while honoring the capacity and bandwidth of your body. Nothing is gained by pushing or placing pressure on yourself. Establishing a relationship of trust between you and you takes time. Trust is rooted in connection to our intuition, to our inner knowing, to that part of us that remains steady and constant, to that part of us that knows. But we must first tune in to hear it. The more time we take to pause and meet ourselves where we're at, the more we'll know which direction our compass is facing. The more connected to our true north we will be. From there, we can take the tiniest steps in that direction. And if you can't act on your intuition at the moment, that is completely okay and understandable. No need to apply any undue pressure. Instead, start by asking your intuition about simple things. What kind of tea am I going to drink? What shirt will I wear? What will I have for lunch? Slow and small steps. Trust is a muscle, and a big part of self-trust is knowing that even if we don't follow through, or even if we abandon ourselves again, or trip and stumble, that we will lovingly and gently guide ourselves back to our own inner wisdom, knowing that nothing is lost, that there are no mistakes, and that it's all progress. It's all learning